opportunities we miss. Got down here, we don't line up jumping around, and Trent's got to help control that a little bit. But it's part of, the things that we got to work through and continue to get better. And he's got to control the offense down there. But I think we played good. We missed some shots, but we had to make a drive right there, and I was proud of that drive we made. We needed those points.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Christina, my apologies. I bit my tongue right as I was getting ready to introduce you and the coach. Tim Melton is standing by with our halftime show, Warriors with an 8-0 lead. You're listening to Warrior Football on the Warrior Nation Network.
Hey there, Alabaster. When you're injured and you need someone to fight for your rights, turn to the name you can trust, Sean Capps Injury Law. At Sean Capps Injury Law, we're not just attorneys, we're your neighbors, your advocates, and your partners in justice. Got questions about a personal injury, wondering what your case is worth? We've got the answers. Visit our website at www.capsinjurylaw.com or call us at 205-955-5555 for a free case evaluation. And here's the best part, you won't pay us a dime unless we win your case. That's our promise to you.
Warrior Express Texaco is your one-stop shop for all your convenience needs. From ice-cold beverages to their delicious Hunt Brothers pizza, Warrior Express has everything you need to get Warrior ready this football season. Locally owned and operated, their friendly staff is second to none. Each of their 10 fueling stations is equipped with 5 types of fuel, including non-ethanol and diesel, available at every pump. Fuelman is accepted and buses are welcome. For unbeatable mileage, put some Techron in your tank today. Go Warriors!
Poto's Boutique is a proud sponsor of Thompson Athletics. Ladies, are you looking for a casual and cute outfits, accessories, or the newest fashion trends? Poto's has you covered. Follow us at Poto's Boutique on Facebook and Instagram, or stop by our store on Highway 31 in Calera.
Welcome into the halftime show here on the Warrior Nation Network. I'm Tim Melton, your host here at halftime, joined in the booth once again by two-time state champion, Mr. John Lunsford. John, it is currently an 8-0 game here. It felt like it was going to be a 10-0 game at one point. Obviously, a penalty is thrown, a holding call is made. We then get to reset, a chance to see another two-point conversion, and you could have made the argument, I think very sincerely, that another holding call should have been made on that second try at the two-point conversion, which led to Mark Freeman being really hot under the collar.
And I understand it, and obviously he's going to fight for his guys there, but tried to go kind of through that fade route to Anquan, and I mean, it was, some bumping back and forth, but when the receiver can't get separation, a lot of times that's on the defender. He has to be able to let the receiver make the catch, and obviously he can turn around and try to swat the ball away or do whatever once the ball gets there, but never really let Anquan have a chance to make the catch, and, we obviously are, I'd say we're wearing red and black colored glasses, but so is everybody on the other side, technically, but it seemed like a pass interference.
So let's talk about the other side. Hewitt-Trussville, you look at this from their perspective. They're down here on the road, 8-0. Very manageable sort of situation here for them on the scoreboard. But offensively, they really haven't gotten a lot going so far.
They haven't, and that's trying to replace Peyton Floyd. We've seen in the games against quote-unquote good opponents that they played. It's Vestavia, that was on the road. They were down. They had to come back and score a touchdown in the final minute just to win 18-14. Hoover only had one touchdown in that game. Hoover came back and won 8-7 with a two-point conversion. So, 8 is a magic number when they played Hoover. So, luckily this keeps them from one touchdown and all of a sudden they're in front, one touchdown, and at worst you're tied because of that safety. So that's good for Thompson. But, yeah, for Hewitt, they expected to score points on that first drive. They drove pretty good down the field and then tried to kick a field goal that just kind of veered off to the side. It wasn't really much of a kick, but I don't know if that kicker normally makes a field goal like that, if he normally has range that can make that. But I know they're disappointed to not come away with points there because Grayson ended up being a win for Grayson, but they only scored in regulation on that first drive. Same with Clay Chaltville. Hewitt didn't get it, and I think we're seeing the results of that because they have not been able to do anything since.
This is a region contest. Let's go ahead and take a look at the region score report presented by Coca-Cola. There's definitely a lot of great games taking place this week. John, what currently stands out to you as we are at the half of this one where Thompson is currently in control 8-0 over Hewitt-Trussville.
So Hoover, we mentioned they beat Hewitt-Trussville by 1. They are up, maybe a little closer score than you would expect, 14-3 on Oak Mountain right now at the half. Hoover, if they win this one, will put them at 4-0 and basically lock them into the playoffs at least. Thompson and Hoover wins will basically lock them in the playoffs tonight. But, Hoover and Thompson definitely fighting for that region title shot, and a loss for either team tonight could potentially hurt that region title chance. Elsewhere in the region, Vestavia up 34-0 on Prattville at the half. The big question is who's going to be the fourth team in the region, because you have Thompson, you have Hewitt, you have Hoover. Is it going to be Vestavia? They started off slow. Could it have potentially been Prattville? Well, Prattville is not doing very well tonight, so there's a chance. I said earlier in the season there's a chance that Prattville game at the end of the season could be for a playoff spot for the Lions, but they could potentially already be out depending on what Vestavia does the rest of the season. And then Hillcrest, they're up on Tuscaloosa County 14-7 at the half. A little bit of a closer game. Hillcrest, a 6A team that's moved up into 7A. Tuscaloosa County trying to capture some of the success they had the past few years, not making the playoffs, but winning games against the non-playoff teams in region. So close one there, 14-7, Hillcrest on top of Tuscaloosa County.
Let's once again talk about what we've witnessed here in the first half of play so far here at home, as Thompson is looking to get back in the win column after a loss. Heartbreaking one in overtime last week. Let's talk about the first quarter of today's contest, because it was an interesting one. You had a missed Huskies field goal. You then had a 3-and-out Thompson, followed by the forced fumble by the Warriors. Huskies then get the 4th-and-goal stop, and Thompson then secures the safety. 2-0 Thompson there in the first quarter. I know the NFL gets accused on social media of being scripted. There's nobody who could come up with a script like this one so far for the first quarter of this game.
No, not at all. And I really want to go back to the fumble, because that was the turning point, and it was Anquan Fagans once again getting in there on the running back, just ripping the ball out. He didn't rip it and run it all the way back. He ripped it out and allowed, I think it was Lewis, to run it down inside the 5.
Nearly a touchdown.
Almost a touchdown. Pretty much got right there before he got tackled, but it was almost a surprise to Lewis, and then he kind of did what he could with it after he got the ball in his hands. But Figgins has done such a great job with his tackling, done such a great job being a ball hawk, going up and getting an interception like he did at the end of the half right there. Had an incredible catch on offense, by the way, that was very similar to what we saw when he was going against a player like Cam Coleman in the Super 7 last year. As good as everybody raved about Cam Coleman, Anquan's able to go up and get those interceptions just like he did on that offensive catch there. But then the fumble, it's just like what he did against Vestavia, and then Thompson was able to capitalize on it, only got 2 points. Kind of looked like maybe he potentially got in the end zone there, but once again, we're looking at it from a certain angle, and it seemed like from this angle he got in. But you still got points out of it overall. You still controlled the field position because of that, defensive stand, and ultimately you were able to put together a drive towards the end of the half. And that 2 points now is very crucial, because it's not just 7-0, it's 8-0.
Absolutely, and you heard Coach Freeman, almost the relief in his voice. I didn't know what version of Coach Freeman we'd get there going into the half with Christina, but it seemed like he was very grateful to hit pay dirt there with a Michael Dujon touchdown to make it into the end zone.
He very much was, because I think a lot of people have looked at this offense, and it's kind of unfair to somebody like Trent, who is still a sophomore, but you think, man, a quarterback in his 3rd year should have this offense clicking, but almost no receivers are the same as last year. You lost A.J. Green, who's a really good running back for you. You had to replace some offensive linemen. There's a lot that had to be kind of fixed with this offense and kind of brought up to speed on this offense, and I think Trent's done a good job leading this team on offense, but being able to put points on the board is still, I would say, the most important things when it comes to Seaborn and everybody on this offense. So, being able to put a drive together in the first half, because the other thing is, in both of those losses, the first half had goose eggs on the board for Thompson. Mm-hmm. Not only a defensive score, but also an offensive score to kind of show a better overall performance in a tough region game.
Let's go ahead and get to the road to the Super 7 presented by Dunn's. Let's take a look at how the Warriors have got here and where they're going. The road to the Super 7 certainly runs through Warrior Stadium. Dunn's HVAC, Plumbing, and Electrical is a proud supporter of Thompson Athletics. Dunn's encourages preventative maintenance on all of your home systems. Now is the time to service your HVAC. Call them today and schedule a preventative service.
All right, so week 1, we mentioned Grayson. That was a loss in overtime by 1 point to a really good team out of Georgia. And then a bounce back against Lipscomb Academy in Nashville. It was super hot, over 100 degrees, but still the Warriors came out. The offense was hot, able to put up 4 touchdowns in that game. and come away with the win 27-21. Then region play started, a big win over 40 points from the offense in the rain against Tuscaloosa County, and then again over 40 points in the rain against Oak Mountain here at Warrior Stadium, and then a big comeback win, largely in part due to the defensive scoring, 3 defensive touchdowns, and I mentioned Anquan Fagans with that rip he had in Vestavia. They get the big win over Vestavia 38-17, and then the loss last week to Clay. Another tough 1-point loss there in overtime, but still haven't trailed after regulation in one game this season. Right now, of course, 8-0 against Hewitt-Trussville. A win over Hewitt puts Hewitt where they are likely out of getting a home field advantage in the first round, which means I don't have the bracket in front of me. I'm not sure who Region 3 has to go and play, but it means they could have to travel somewhere, anywhere in the state because of the new playoff format. But then Hillcrest, definitely not a game to overlook. Hillcrest was a really good 6A team. They've kind of fallen on hard times since moving up to 7A. We mentioned they're close with County right now, but still a game you must win to then head into Hoover. A win tonight makes that Hoover game essentially a de facto region championship, as it has been many years with Thompson and Hoover. But luckily that game here at Warrior Stadium, and then ending the season with Prattville, depending on where Prattville is, once again, a game you don't necessarily want to overlook. Because Prattville could potentially be fighting for a playoff spot in that final week.
I'm hoping this graphic is symmetrical and we end up seeing those 4 straight wins there match what the first half of the season looked like. That's the Dunn's Road to the Super 7. Routine maintenance helps save time and money in the long run. Call Dunn's HVAC, Plumbing, and Electrical today at 205-583-6605. That's 205-583-6605 for dependable service done right. We're about to get you set here for the second half of play as Thompson currently has the lead over Hewitt-Trussville here at the half, 8-0 in what was a very strange first half, but one that saw your Thompson Warriors head to the locker room with an 8-point lead. We now are going to go ahead and send it down to the field of play to get a listen in on those marching Southern sounds here live from Alabaster.
Exploration is wired into our brains. If we can see the horizon, we want to know what's beyond.
I'm Dr. Michael Patterson, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine. I've been fortunate since I've been an Alabaster to be the team physician for Thompson High School. Been